Noriko Boulder, and this is Uncut News. Good news for all you residents of Region 3. It has finally been settled. The government has decided to build the new Demerara Harbour Bridge from Nandi Park, East Bank Demerara, to Lagrange, West Bank Demerara. Requests for expressions of interest started yesterday, and the deadline will be in early December. On Saturday, the president said that the bridge will be a fixed 4-lane high-span structure that they intend to have built within the next 4 years. He could not immediately say how much the new east-west corridor would cost, as that figure would come from the interested companies. The new bridge is also expected to join the planned Ogle to East Bank Demerara Road. The new AFC Coalition administration had planned to build a new Demerara Harbour Bridge from Houston to Versailles, but on coming to power in August, the government said that that location was already being developed by oil and gas-related companies. If you didn't spend your weekend in a jail cell, then I'll just say that your weekend was better than Keith Lowenfield's, because on Saturday, he was arrested yet again, as police have brought up even more allegations against him. But he was released on station bail after he decided not to talk to the cops. The police said, after being told of the allegations, Mr. Lowenfield exercised his right to remain silent. Thereafter, a confrontation was held between him and a witness, and once again, Mr. Lowenfield opted to remain silent. End quote. He is already facing criminal charges for alleged misconduct in public office and alleged fraud. He was released on station bail on the condition that he reported back to CID headquarters today. The Rice Producers Association anticipates a record-breaking rice harvest for this year in Baines. In Region 6, farmers are already enjoying yields of 6.1 tons per hectare, with about 25% of the harvest completed to date. After visiting the area earlier this month, Minister of Agriculture Zulfikar I actually know about rice, Mustafa, called for remedial works on damaged thoroughfares and other infrastructure in the area. These works are expected to be completed by the end of the harvest, thus increasing expected profits for the industry. Nationwide, the GRDB says overall paddy production for the second crop 2020 is projected at just under 1.1 million tons. Over at Triple B's, they sell products that solve problems. This portable folding iron, for example. Say goodbye to them wrinkles. No, not the ones on your face. You'll need Jesus for that. Haha! I'm talking about the wrinkles on your clothes. Call Triple B's on telephone number 682-8326 or visit them on Facebook. Triple B's Enterprise. Remember the name. Lock up your cars and stay safe, people, because apparently it's carjacking season once again. Saturday afternoon, 37-year-old taxi driver Azul Mohammed was carjacked by 2 men who pretended to be customers. The men hired Mohammed to drive them to Sofia after picking them up on the west coast. When they reached the location, the 2 men allegedly beat him and threatened to shoot him if he did not get out of the car. Mohammed did, and they drove off with the vehicle. Police have made no arrests as yet, nor has the car been located. An investigation is ongoing. Unfortunately, the vehicle was a recently imported Allion, which means that it may currently be somewhere up the highway being stripped for parts as we speak. But you want to know how you can avoid suffering such a similar fate? Buy a GPS tracker from Triple B's. For less than the cost of entering a Ponzi scheme, you could make sure you are protected from those jackers out there who want to steal your hard-earned property. You already know how to get in contact with them. I just gave you their number about 30 seconds ago. Last evening, a 6-year-old boy was hospitalized after a hit-and-run accident on the East Coast. Police said a 37-year-old resident of LBI was driving down the Nonpareil access road when he accidentally struck down the child who was crossing the road. The boy was treated at the Georgetown Public Hospital, while the driver, who fled the scene, was later arrested and is currently in police custody assisting with the investigation. 34-year-old Kevin Baines is now dead after he was stabbed over a game of cards. According to reports, Baines was playing cards with 2 suspects, a 25-year-old and a 16-year-old, when they got into an argument. Police said one of the suspects took out a knife and stabbed Baines, took away his cell phone, and refused to give it back. Baines subsequently left the area and was later approached by one of the suspects, who again stabbed him to the face and body. The man was taken to the Port Kaituma hospital, where he was pronounced dead on arrival. Investigations are currently ongoing. A 23-year-old man was on Sunday evening killed in a two-vehicle collision along the Lima Public Road, Region 2. Jamal Granville, called Juju, a father of one of Henrietta Essequibo Coast, was driving around the turn when he crashed head-on into a canter that was proceeding in the opposite direction. As a result of the impact, Granville was reportedly pinned in the car and died instantly, while the truck driver is listed in serious condition. BM South is Guyana's #1 auto dealer. They bring fresh stocks every week and cater for both the rich and the poor man. Visit them at Lot 9 Crawl Street, Georgetown tomorrow and tell them Noriko sent you to find out about their special offer this week, or call them on telephone number 231-8451. BM South Auto Sales. It's your turn to drive. Now, let's take a look at news in the region and around the world. In Trinidad and Tobago, apparently the only thing stopping the theft is the Rona. Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley said it is unlikely that there will be a carnival in 2021. Unless a miracle happens between now and Christmas, the Twin Island Republic will not even consider planning for next February's event. They are not alone. Other West Indian nations have cancelled their carnivals and related events for the rest of 2020, with possibilities looming over 2021. On Saturday evening, 2 men were shot, one fatally, during a foiled robbery at a supermarket in Hopewell, Jamaica. A customer was also shot and injured in the incident. According to police, 3 armed men were in the process of robbing a supermarket when they were challenged by a plainclothes policeman. 2 of the 3 armed robbers and a customer were shot in the crossfire. One of the accused gunmen died while receiving medical treatment, while the other injured gunman and the customer who were shot were hospitalized. An investigation is ongoing. Despite widespread anger over the recent test results, the CXC is basically giving the Caribbean the middle finger and is not committing to having a review of all the grades regarding the inconsistencies of the results. At the same time, they also said that the reported discrepancies were exaggerated and dismissed suggestions that there were any anomalies. Speaking at a press conference on Friday, CEO of CXC, Dr. Wayne Wesley, advised that reviews will only be done in cases where the individuals submit complaints or results for reviews. The CXC had received no formal complaints from students up to the time of the press conference. Don't fall for these get-rich-quick schemes, people. There is a legit way you can earn some extra cash to supplement your existing hustle. Sell Top-Up. You could become a top-up vendor quick and easy by linking Cellular Plus. Call them on telephone number 685-3109 for more info. And now for our weird news story of the day. It is actually a little-known fact, but Trumpistan is actually a third-world country that only pretends to be rich. For example, we actually have cleaner, safer water than America. Don't believe me? Then ask the residents of Lake Jackson, Texas. They have just been warned against using tap water after a deadly brain-eating microbe was found in the city's public water supply. Tests confirmed the presence of Naegleria fowleri in the system. This amoeba can cause an infection of the brain, which is usually fatal. 8 Texas communities were originally told on Friday night not to use their water supply for any reason except to flush toilets. The warning was lifted on Saturday for everywhere but Lake Jackson, a city of more than 27,000 residents. That's larger than London. Officials in Lake Jackson said they were disinfecting the water supply, but did not know how long this would take. An investigation into the city's water supply began after a 6-year-old boy contracted the microbe and died earlier this month. Naegleria fowleri occurs naturally in fresh water and is found around the world. It usually infects people when contaminated water enters the body through the nose and then travels to the brain. Most die within a week of infection. Moving on to our Uncut News viewers poll question of the day. Every day we pose a question about current events in Guyana, the region, the diaspora, and how you feel it relates to us. So, you give your responses in the comments, and we just might read the best ones in the following episode. Friday's question was, how do you feel about the nurses' strike? Carl Somwa says, all the nurses had to do was be patient. Biz Boy says, yes, I agree with the nurses protesting for better pay and working conditions. They are public servants, and all public servants should and must be paid better, not just the nurses, but also the army, police, firefighters, etc. They are the nation guardians. They all put their life on the line every day at work, to long public servants getting next to nothing pay, no risk allowances, poor working conditions, and are expected to deliver excellent service. I'm right there with you. Give them all a raise, not just the nurses, all public servants. How else will they expect to have good ones if you never pay them well? Adam Passard said, "Yes, I am in agreement 100%. Pay these angels a decent salary. They knowingly taking a risk to care for us, and I'm tired of public servants always asking for top-up and fried rice money when you visit their establishments. Pay the people." Exactly. If they aren't paid enough, why else do you think corruption happens? Good answers, people. So tonight I leave you with this question. Currently there are plans to bridge the Demerara River, as well as the Quarantine River to connect us with Suriname. So, do you think they should also bridge the Essequibo? Think about that question and tell us in the comments below. If your response is good enough, we just might feature it in Tuesday's episode. Anyway, that's all the time we have for tonight. Check us out tomorrow for another. Until then, I'm Noriko Bulford saying good night, folks. Hey Uncut News viewers, thanks for watching. You can subscribe by clicking on this button over here, or click over there for more news. You can also drop a comment to let me know if you've made it to the end of the video. Goodbye for now.